Hi everyone, welcome to Code Kamikaze YouTube channel and welcome to GitLab series. In the last video, we had seen how to configure a runner with the GitLab to enable or to run your CI/CD pipeline. And we had seen how runner is important to run your CI/CD pipeline. In other hand, we call it as a slave or a node. It's up to us or up to you how we can call it. And today video we will run a sample CI/CD pipeline on that runner and we will declare few CI/CD stages and we call all the GitLab keywords that we have discussed earlier of this video. And I'm requesting you to stay until finishing of this video. You'll get much of information how simple is like writing a CI/CD pipeline. We call it as a declarative pipeline, or you can call it as the pipeline as a code with the GitLab CI.yaml file, and how easy like you can call it and okay you can configure it in your environment, and how easy to make automation from building and testing and deploying into the target environment. So we'll see all these operations in GitLab CI.yaml. And the more essential thing, if you would like to run or if you'd like to create a GitLab CI.yaml, or if you'd like to create a CI/CD pipeline in GitLab, you require a file to write all your requirements as per the GitLab standards and as per the GitLab keywords by following the YAML syntax. And you need to write all this YAML syntax into one specific file, and that file should be available on the root level of your repository. So the file name called as .gitlab-ca.yaml. So that's the extension of writing a pipeline as a code, and you need to create that, and you need to write YAML syntax by following the GitLab keywords in that file. And if you see here, we don't have anything on our branch. So the repository name called as DevSecOps. And if you would like to create a CI/CD pipeline, as I mentioned, you have to create .gitlab-ca.yaml file. Then only you can run a CI/CD pipeline on GitLab. If you see here, if I go on click on pipelines, I don't have a single pipeline over here. My pipeline section is empty, and GitLab itself is saying there are currently no pipelines. But what I will do, I will write a .gitlab.ca.yaml file, and I will specify few stages in that, which is build, test, and deploy. So in this today's video, I won't make any complexity of writing the GitLab C.yaml file, and I don't make any complexity of calling a script and all. So what I will do, I will use one shell command which is echoing few characters for each stage. So we'll see how we can write it and how we can call the stages sequentially and how we can run it, and we will see how we can enable it. And the main prerequisites that you have to, if you'd like to run your stages, you require a runner. We had seen already like how you can configure it, the WSL, which is Windows Subsystem Linux. So if you want to run your stages on GitLab runner, so you should enable or you should bring your runner alive. In our case, this runner. So this runner should be active. Then only you can run all your jobs or stages in the runner. And if you want to get more information about it, so what you can directly come over here in settings, features, click on CI/CD settings, and you can see here on runners, and you can get more information about it. So if you click on edit button, already we had seen by yesterday, so what are informations and protects and descriptions and tags and everything. So if you see here, our runner tag is first runner, F is capital and R is capital. So this is the basic information about runner, and I just wanted to show you what all configuration we had done by yesterday's video. And now let's open GitLab Web IDE, and in that we can create .gitlab-c.yaml file, and in it we can write all the stages for creating a first pipeline into our GitLab series. So this is the welcome page regularly GitLab provides. And the next one, if you want to create a new file, just come here. It is more over like Visual Studio Code, and just click on new file and give our file name. In our case, our file name is GitLab CI dot YAML. So be careful while you're creating the this file, because instead of YML, if you have given a YAML, it will directly create a YAML file. But if you have given a YML, it will create a extension file only for GitLab. So that's the basic difference between YAML and YML. If you click on enter, this file has been created, and here we need to declare the stages along with the stages names and stages sequence and all by following the GitLab keywords. So I have already proclaimed in this earlier of this video that I'm going to create three stages, which are build, test, and deploy. So for that, we have already seen, like, if you want to create a stages as a sequence, you need to use the keyword of GitLab called as stages, and you need to specify it in GitLab CI.yaml. So let's specify it stages and give the syntax as a colon, and after that place one tab and specify first stage called as a build. And this is the format of declaring all your stages into GitLab CI. And the next stage is the test, and the next stage is the deploy. So they have three stages. The first one is build. Since we don't have any source code, we just uh, simply running the three stages. We are not running and we are not calling any source code. It's just a skeleton of GitLab CA.yaml file. You don't need to worry about it, other things. We'll look into that, how we can bring the source code into our CI/CD and how we can build it and test it, deploy it, and coming session. But I want you to let to understand what is the main basic or how we can create the GitLab CI.yaml file from the scratch by following the GitLab keywords. Fine, so we have specified three stages as a sequence. First is a build, the first sequence, second is a test and deploy. So whenever you run the pipeline, it will follow the same sequence. First, it will create the pipeline for build, and it will create pipeline for test, and it will create pipeline for deploy. Awesome. We have specified what all stages has to be run as a sequence. Now we will take advantage of these stages and we'll create three stages as a script and we'll call it. So as already we know, we are giving the stage name as a build, which is a capital, and in it, I'm going to call this stage name as the build. So I'm going to call the first stage name, which is a build. So I would like to run this job under this stage, under this build. So the next one, I'm going to specify uh, the script, script script as a keyword. So if you know that stages, that keyword is come from the GitLab itself, and script keyword is came from GitLab itself. There is nothing new we are discussing here. We already discussed all those keywords in the earlier of this series. So here, if you want to run any script, either it's a shell or whatever it may be, you just need to follow the syntax. So since I'm executing some shell command, which is I'm going to print a characters or a string, whatever it may be. So I'm calling it as a echo, as a echo as my shell command to print something. So I'm just calling it as a first build, and later I'm ending it. And the next here, I need to specify, since we have configured, we have write a first stage, and here you need to specify where and which runner it has to run this script. So you might have a bunch of runners already configured for your GitLab. But if you want to specifically run the stage on the specific runner, you should specify the runner name. So that's why we need to specify the syntax called as a tags, is a syntax. So if you give a colon and you need to specify the tag name, in our case, our runner tag is first runner. So that's how we can specify the first stage called as a build, and you specify the stage name, which is we are specifying the job name here, and later you're calling it, and you're specifying this job under the build stage. The next one is testing. So we are calling the job name as a test, and we are calling this job under the stage called as a test. And next one, we are giving the script script script. Under the script, you can just echo that first test. The same way, if you want to run this job, you need to specify the tags. You need to specify the runner, which runner you want to run this. So for that, you need to specify the runner name, which is first runner. The same way, you can call the next job name called as deploy. I'm just renaming it instead of writing everything, and I'm called it as a stage called as a deploy, DEPLOI, and deploy. And the same way, I'm calling the runner name. So this is how you can write the three jobs under each stage, and you can have a multiple jobs under each stage. Is up to you, and you can configure it. So this is how you can follow the GitLab keywords to run your first pipeline. So here, if you see here, we are at the first pipeline job branch. So I'm going to commit all the stages into this branch. I'm specifying the commit message, which is uh, added GitLab -ci.yaml file and uh, integrated the stages and jobs in it. That's it. You just need to specify the commit message and you can commit up into this branch. So before that, I would like to show you, if you see here, I'm opening a new tab with this pipeline. If you see here, we don't have any pipeline has been running over here in this repository and specifically into first pipeline. If I do commit, if I do commit here, you can see here, it is going to create a new pipeline over here. If you see here, our CI/CD pipeline has been triggered. Now, if I open this CI/CD pipeline, it is going to show three stages and three jobs. So the job is a build and test and deploy. These all are under build stage, test stage, and deploy stage. So it is going to run all these stages into our GitLab CI.yaml file through GitLab CI.yaml file into this runner. So if you want to show you how it is running, if I click on this, you can see all the logs, how it is running up. If you see here, our first job has been succeeded. It is running on GitLab runner, and this is our first runner. This is our description. This is the tag. And if you see here, it is using shell executor. We already seen we have a multiple executor. So since we have configured shell as executor and is running on Shake, which is my a local WSR, which is a Windows subsystem Linux, and it's just echoing. So whatever echo specified over here into our first build, it is just printing up. If you see here, it's just printed first build. Nothing. We didn't do any much complexity in our pipeline. So my intention is to make you understand very easily about the GitLab CI/CD pipelines. So somehow, yeah, it has went to the next stage as a sequentially because we had specified here on the top of this stages. So first it has to go with a build, and next it is a test, and next is a deploy. If you see here, it is called the same echo command, which is first test, and it is executed. If you see here, it is called the first runner, and this is the GitLab, and this is the version of GitLab. So it is running on Shake, which is my targeted WSL. And same way, it has to go for next stage, which is deploy. Yeah, it is about to start. Let's wait. So if you click on this, if it is an orange color, it might show you some information job. The job has not started yet. This job is pending state and it's waiting to pick up a runner, which means our runner is going to pick up this job, but it is not yet been started. So wait for it, and still it is in pending stage. If our runner has picked up the job, it will show you that running on this particular job. So keep refreshing this particular job. So if you see here, it has been successfully finished or running on our runner. And if you see here, it is showing as a first deploy. So this is how you can run, build, test, deploy as a sample and simple GitLab script, and you can run without code as a CI/CD pipeline. If you see here, if you go to our branch, if I do refresh, we don't have any source code here. We just have a basic GitLab CI.yaml file. In that, we have specified what all script we need to run. We have the script, which is the echo first build, first test, and first apply. That's it. We have specified and we have configured those script into your GitLab CI.yaml file, and we have executed. And GitLab itself, it has picked up the CI/CD pipeline. If you go to this pipeline session, it will show you whether your pipeline got succeeded or not. If you're saying it is passed, and when it was ran, which is 8th April 2024, 3:37, which is the Indian Standard Zone, and it is showing the pipeline ID and on which branch it ran, and it is giving the commit ID, and it is showing the commit message along with the commit ID, and who ran this pipeline, which is Sheikh Mohammed goes, I am. And how many stages we have 3 stages, which is built, it's successfully complete, that's why it is showing as a passed. And it is showing the second stage or second job, which is test, and third one is deploy. And if you're going to know more information about artifact download or something, you can come here, you can look into that, and you can download the artifacts. Somehow we are, this is basic pipeline, that's why we haven't created any artifact over here. So this is how you can take advantage of GitLab keywords, and you can create simple and sample ci pipeline in GitLab by taking advantage of GitLab-c.yaml file, by specifying pipeline as a code, in other hand, declarative pipeline in YAML syntax. So that's all about writing the first pipeline in GitLab, and we will see in the next video how can we integrate a source code, whether it is Java, whether the Python, or any other languages. So I'll bring any one of the source code, and I'll show you how we can build it, and how we can test it, and how we can deploy it by taking advantage of GitLab CI/CD pipeline. So that's all for today. We'll see next section. How can we bring all the CI/CD pipelines into GitLab CI.yaml file, and stay tuned with this series. Until then, thanks for watching. Share this video to your friends or who are really required to learn the GitLab. And thanks for watching. Bye bye.